Welcome back to the Divine Deception. And yeah, I think I've described the weird occurrences I was having where I'd, finish the last chapter and then load back into the game. And then it would have been, stuck on the last chapter and whatnot. I just had to kind of skip through the chapter I just played again to get to where I needed to be to start the next video. I think I talked about that, because it's happened a few times when I'm just picking this up again to get into recording. So yeah, it doesn't actually autosave after you finish a chapter, which for some reason I thought it did. But then again, I was just making my own save after I finished a chapter, which realistically would be nice to have. In a sense, you could autosave and then just start up the game at the main screen, and then you can load into your save instead of having it being a binary save. So those times where I start up the game and I was a chapter behind, it's just because I didn't save the game before exiting. That was it. That's all. That mystery has been solved. I really only noticed it when I started up the game this time, and I was right back at the hacking minigame from last time. So a slight quibble on my front, but not... It's manageable. So, we have... Run a boat. We will fight Thane on a boot. We will fight Thane with a goot. Over under. We also made a friend, who we found out from Thane's chapter is a duat. Let's set the scene for a moment. Right now I'm trapped in the middle of a small, dark metal container. I was stuck holding the nearest opening closed. On the other side of this opening was a masked killer dressed in all black. They had a gun, and as was just demonstrated, shooting at the container repeatedly might pierce through it. Inside the container was some redhead who seemingly was also being hunted down by this killer. She didn't seem particularly friendly towards me. I didn't know if I could even trust her that much, long term. However, in this specific case, we shared a common goal in not immediately dying. Right now we were on the deck of a ghost ship out to sea in the middle of the night. People have been killed in the hull. It is unclear if there is anybody else on the ship, but if there is, odds are good that they are in league with the masked killer. Oh, and my phone isn't working. Okay, got all that? Good, those are the pieces we're dealing with. And scene. Fuck! You keep shooting randomly like that, we're gonna get hit! As soon as I started shouting out like this, I felt once again the container begin to open up. They must have thought my reaction might have signaled that I had let go. An incorrect guess. With as much effort as I could muster, I kept the container closed. Things were looking pretty hopeless. I looked over to my fellow target to see if she had any input. As it turns out, she had an idea of her own. With a solid kick, she opened the other side of the container. Huh? That side opens? Being honest, I had no idea. Makes sense, I guess? But it wasn't obvious from the inside. If you'd like to know that, you'd need to be pretty familiar with these sorts of containers. Forget it. I was gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Began to run to the other side of the container. However, before getting too far, the other target put a hand on my arm. She also put a finger to her lips. It was pretty esoteric, but I got the message. We waited 3 seconds. Then we sprinted out the front entrance. Yeah, he's gonna approach the noise. So we wait for him to approach the noise, and bust out the other side. As expected, we had a bit of a lead. See, hearing the other side open like that, hearing my moving footsteps, Thane, clever killer he was, meant to circle around and ambush us. Luckily, my partner in escape was 1 step ahead of him and decided to just leave out the front. This trick got us 1 step ahead. However, 1 step ahead isn't that far ahead. As expected, Thane was quick to catch his mistake. And before we knew it, we were right back to the same old game of chase. Since he had a gun, we had a bit of a limitation in how we could run. If we didn't make constant turns behind cover, he'd just shoot us, and that would be that. Luckily, there were plenty of metal containers around the deck. A maze that I once cursed was now felt like a blessing. Left, right. Had to keep in mind the edges of the ship. It was kind of fun in a disturbing way. That thought was a bad sign towards my mental stability. This was really just the highest stakes game of tag there ever was. I was always pretty good at tag. It wasn't just a game of physical endurance. Not really. I mean, maybe if you played on a plain empty field. If you played tag on a playground, then it was a game of strategic encirclement. Every playground piece was a tool the runners could use to try and throw off the chaser. Fundamentally, in an open field with no interference, the runner and the chaser are of roughly equal physical endurance. The chaser has a huge advantage. After all, the runner just needs to lag for a moment within the range of the chaser's reach, and it'd all be over. But if you climb playground equipment, you could bank time. It'd be 20 times faster to get off and away from the equipment than to initially climb it. You stayed mindful of where the threats were approaching, what your exit options were. It was impossible to get caught. Remember, I'd always argue for zombie tag, because if we just played regular tag, I'd get bored. No one would ever catch me. Bold words, I know, from the person currently moments from being shot by an approaching killer. The days of the playground had long passed me, and being honest, I was starting to feel some exhaustion. I wasn't the only one. Looking to my fellow target, they also seemed to be struggling somewhat in keeping up with me. From the sound of Thane's approach, however, he seemed to be showing no signs of wear or tear. He was getting closer and closer. This couldn't hold. But what to do? Keep running. Huh? I could barely hear that, it was said so quietly. Obviously keep running, why wouldn't... Oh, I see. I get what's going on. My fellow escapee was slowing down as we turned this corner. Could guess what was about to happen. We turned the corner and... Yep. She instantly stopped and started bending down. Her attention was now directed out to the other side of the container. She was waiting for Thane. She was going to directly attack him again. Which made sense, we could only run for so long. We weren't getting anywhere the way we were going. Element of surprise is as good a way to try it as any other. Why tell me to keep running? You're the bait. Surely it would be better for us to take him on 2 versus 1. In that case, I should stay behind and help, right? But she said to keep running. No, I slowed down and turned around. You fool! Good thing that I did when I did. Because of that, I was able to get a front row seat for the ensuing fight. Right as Thane began to turn the corner himself, the redhead shot out with a fist, looking to sock him right in the side of the head. Sorry, lady, but you were dealing with someone who had cyborg levels of fighting experience. An instant, Thane came to a dead stop, just to see the attack coming from the corner of his eye. Not only did Thane stop, but he leaned back. Because of that, my partner's fist swing sailed right in front of Thane's head, inches away from his stupid helmet. This felt like a sign that the attack had failed. My partner wasn't so quick to throw in the towel. And if she had planned for the first punch to miss, she had twisted her body, and with her right arm went for an uppercut right to the chest. An attack like that would win anyone if it connected solidly. Again, though, Thane was ready and blocked the brunt of the attack with his right arm. The redhead then seamlessly transitioned into another swing to the side with her left fist. And once more, Thane caught it with his left arm. However, both of those arm-based attacks were just meant to keep Thane occupied and distracted. While she swung those punches, the redhead was also swinging back her right leg. Right as Thane caught her left punch, she released the tension and took a whack right at Thane's money zone. Oh yeah, good old slash zone. Looks like 3rd time's the charm. Or 4th, depending on your count. Whatever, point is, Thane was caught right on, and began to keel over somewhat. An opening! Seriously, I wasn't expecting much, but right now it looked like my fellow target was about to get the upper hand. Looking to make the most of this lapse in defense on Thane's part, the redhead clasped her fists together and jumped up. Whoa. She was looking to slam down on his head with a double fist strike. Double axe handle, baby, alright, ambitious, but the wrong choice. Should have followed up with something with less wind-up time, like a knee. He's doubled over, knee strike to the head. And it's a normal opponent, sure, that might have been the right move. But against Thane? As I feared, right as the woman brought down the strike, he swayed right out of the way, dodging at the very last second. Unfortunately, since she missed, Thane's opponent was now wide open. Almost casually, his free hand shot out and slammed into the redhead's face. It wasn't even a punch, either. It was more of a shove, it looked like. And as though she was shoved, the woman fell back, toppling onto the floor and skidding up to the edge of another container. Thane, pressing the advantage, calmly took 2 more steps forward and began to ready his gun. A simple shot or 2 to the splayed opponent would end things. Damn. Well, good thing I'm not one to listen to directions. Oh no, a fight scene? Oh hey, here's something to keep in mind. If a word pops up, that's your mind considering it or whatever. If it pops up again and then you're reconsidering it, changing your mind. In other words, if a word pops up twice, it is as though you never thought of it in the first place. Of course, that means if a word then pops up a 3rd time, well, you're clever enough to work that by yourself. Nah. They already begun moving over to their fight. Now I was at a full-on sprint. At the last possible moment, Thane looked over at me. Jump kick. Tackle. Jump punch. Throw. Cancel jump kick. He looked just in time to witness me jumping out at him with both legs. That's right, the good old drop kick. Drop kick! Man, this thing really was a decent fighting move, huh? Apparently, Thane's weakness was unexpected kicks from third parties when he was already aiming at someone on the ground with a gun because he wasn't remotely prepared for this attack. The dropkick hit him full on, and he was sent flying to the ground. He slid back, and in the impact, he let go of his gun, which slid even further. This time it was my job to grab my previous savior. Alright. Felt my mouth open before I knew what to say. Flee, gun, help, kill. Hurry! I shouted this to indicate that actually continuing to fight Thane was a mistake. At first, this might seem like an odd choice. Thane was prone without his gun, and it was 2-on-1. Take the gun, take the gun. We should keep fighting him, right? But no, my fighting experience indicated anything but. Even with the 2 of us pressing the advantage, I didn't doubt Thane would be able to end us both. What this surprise ambush should be used for is getting a more significant lead on Thane. Luckily, it seemed like my fellow target agreed with his assessment. She began to run away, and I made to follow her, but... Sweep. Grab. Grapple. Grab. Thane grabbed at my foot as I was fleeing. Did you take the gun? Luckily, I was able to spot this attempt at the corner of my eye and jumped up just in time. That was close. Immediately, we began flooring it. Where to run? Round 3? Run straight, sprint left, okay. Oh fuck. Nope. That's right, we're cheesing this. Sprint left, flee right. Sprint left, midnight, sprint left. Sprint left, yeah. So sprint left appeared twice, so it cancels out. Seeing a good path forward, it made an immediate turn left. We followed this shortly up with a right turn. Just needed Thane to be far away. That was the only priority. Much distance as possible, this was a full-on sprint. Until finally... Ambush. Attack. Ambush. Hide. Ambush. Ambush. Wait, what? Oh, wait, no, that... Attack. Ambush. Hide. Ambush. Attack. Ambush. Hide. Ambush. Stop. What I could tell, we had put enough distance on Thane. Right, okay, so this is just demonstrating the new fight mechanics. Ambush, ambush, ambush means we're thinking ambush means don't use ambush. What we need to do now is catch our breath. So here, when we were on the completely opposite side of the boat, we began to slow down and catch our breath. Did we take his gun? Listen intently for Thane, but no footsteps were to be heard. For now, at least, I was right. We had actually lost him. Well, that's nice. Hey, now that we have a moment to ourselves, mind if I got your name? A moment to ourselves? We're still pretty fucked, dude. It's a big boat. We lost him. I think we've at least got a moment. Why do you want to know my name? Just so we can, talk? Seeing as we're sort of in this shiftiest together. We're sort of in this shitfest together at the moment. I just thought it would be nice. Jesus, everything gonna be a thing with you? She eyed me with suspicion for a moment. Fine. I'm Lara. Nice to meet you, Lara. And you? Mercury. If that is your real name. Mercury? Problem with that name? No. Just unique. There are a lot of pretty unique names here in Panthea. Fair enough. Mind telling me what you're doing on this ship? Are you going to tell me why you're here? Now's not the time to talk about that shit. Our lives are in danger. Then now's not the time to talk about this. Our lives are in danger. Drop that quickly. Hey, you want to give me shit or try working on a plan? Plan sounds good. Only problem, though, I don't know what we're supposed to do. Paddling this huge ship back to shore will take a bit, and will be a huge risk. No idea if there's somebody at the control place right now, but if there is, they are likely armed. And we're in the middle of the ocean, so it's not like we have an easy out. Easy, we just gotta get to the lifeboat. Lifeboat? Yeah, it's on the starboard side, is that the right term? That side. Oh, I pointed where she was indicating. Right side? That's how I got here. I smuggled myself on the lifeboat when we went out to sea. Of course. Obviously there'd be a lifeboat. Why didn't I check for that the moment I woke up? Didn't really have an answer. Guess I'm dumb. Okay, yeah, lifeboat seems like the safest play. We should try and angle towards that if we can. Great. Let's get going. Immediately, Lara began to move in the direction she had earlier indicated. Whoa, wait. I gripped hold of her arm. Annoyed, she shook me off. The hell? Whoa, hello. Sorry. Look, I don't think going there right away is such a good idea. Fucking. Did you just say that the lifeboat was our best bet? It is. That's why we should be wary about going that way. I like this side of you, Lara. I don't follow. Thane's pretty smart. That's so. Okay, that statement makes me think you believe otherwise. Earlier when I was in the hole, when he lost me, he began to guard the stairs back to the deck. I think that's probably because he knew about the lifeboat and wanted to cut off that possible escape for me. Now that we're on the deck, I think Thane's likely to skip the middleman and puppy guard the lifeboat directly. To go that way haphazardly, we're likely to get sprayed with bullets. So what, you're saying we shouldn't take that obvious exit because he'll expect that play? In so many words. Ever heard of the hangman's paradox? Enlighten me. Alright, so there's this crazy serial killer. He's scheduled to get strung up sometime this week. On Monday, the warden tells the killer that they're not going to expect it the morning his execution is announced. Fucked up prison system, I know, but just go with me. Now, do you know what the prisoner figures? They can't be killed on Sunday because if there's only one day left, they'd expect it. Exactly. So they can't be killed on Saturday because if it got to Friday and it obviously couldn't happen on Sunday, then obviously they'd expect it come Saturday. The same thing with Friday, then Thursday. Huh. You sure you never heard about this thing before? I'm just working through the situation logically. Anyways, the killer goes on to extend that reasoning throughout the whole week. Concludes it's impossible for him to be executed on any day. Then on Wednesday they're executed and they feel like a real idiot. You were the one who reminded me we had limited time, right? Look, the moral of the story is don't be like the stupid killer. Since the expected choice is so expected, sometimes it's unexpected. So really, there's no choice that can become expected. I feel like she had skipped a few steps in there somewhere. However, she seemed confident in this reasoning and began to move again. Okay, wait. Laura paused, but didn't turn back around. We can go, but we have to be, like, super stealthy. Obviously. I don't mean like regular stealthy. We need to actively check for any places Thane might be waiting to ambush us from before we get in that lifeboat. Okay, I get it. Don't want to get shot either. I'm not saying you do. I'm saying we should be careful and... Alright, I'm bored now. Laura resumed her trek to the lifeboat. Fair enough. And well, no wait, all I can do is follow her. Slowly, stealthily, we made our way towards the lifeboat. Luckily, Laura seemed to take my advice to heart. She moved with extremely light feet, making sure to check her corners and take frequent breaks. For my part, I just tried not to make noise. And I listened out. Tried to hear where Thane was. Unfortunately, at the rate things were going, I was more likely to hear my own heartbeat than any noise Thane was making. Unlike before, I couldn't place him anywhere. There were two options. Either he was already in one place, stationary, or he was also stalking around silently, looking for us. Were we currently in a deadly game of cat and mouse? Or were we slowly making our way right into a trap? I couldn't tell. All I could do was keep walking. Step, step, step. The ship wasn't that long, yet it felt like it was taking forever to just simply cross from one end to another. Part of it was the painstakingly slow rate at which we moved. Part of it was how fast my mind was moving. I always thought I was good at thinking pretty quickly. But the time really did move slower when you were in danger. I always heard that cliche, but never thought there was any truth to it. What if it's a sort of a chemical thing, or if, Lara and I were leaning back against the nearest container, motionless. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. I felt like choking. In front of us, we had gotten a glimpse of Thane. He was slowly walking in the other direction. Pretty sure he didn't see us. Wasn't facing our direction. Still, holy shit. Oh, God! My heart dropped the moment I heard the gunshot. Felt like yelping out. Was it aimed? Had he found us? I didn't hear an impact sound. No impact sound? 2 more shots were fired, but this time I got a glimpse of the sky. What was really going on here? These shots were being fired to the sky. What? Thane was purposely giving away his location. Looks like we were trying his patience, and he was fed up with the slow and steady method. To be honest, I didn't think Thane's patience could be broken. As that thought passed my mind, I started to hear his mechanical voice shout out through the silent night. Come on out, Lara. You really don't have to do this. Deal with the trespasser, and we can come to an understanding. You don't have to die here. Because that's what's going to happen, you know. Die here. We both know you can't take me on. Twice now you fluked your way out of death, but I'm on guard now. No more little tricks will faze me. Really don't want to kill you. Anxiously, I looked to Lara. These two clearly knew each other. We're in cahoots. Was she thinking about taking this deal? I saw her roll her eyes. Okay, looks like she found this proposition comically ridiculous. Thank God. I like living. Good to know I wasn't going to get sold out. But Thane wasn't yet done. What do you think you're going to accomplish if you escape, huh? Because obviously you're looking to escape. Do you think if you can get back to safe land, you'd have won something? You go and report this to Marduk, suddenly you've won. Oh? What makes you so sure he doesn't know about this, huh? Because you're saying that aloud, you fucker. Shut the fuck up. It's right there, Lara. Do you want to be shot? Okay. Here's a better question. Do you think he'll particularly care? I think that will be the least of your concerns when he learns your dirty little secret. Little Miss Naomi. Oh? I saw Laura visibly freeze up at this. I had no context for what he was saying. However, I could guess it wasn't good. Yeah, that's right. I know. The Mandjet did its job. Cheeky little bitch, aren't you? Thinking you could get away with this. Thinking that someone like you could lead the duats. Huh. As if. Sorry to say your gal pal down in the hole didn't have as tight lips as you must have thought when you confided in her. Really didn't take long for her to cough that up. Just 2 fingers. Oh shit. Could visibly see Laura shaking. With rage, with fear, I wasn't sure. Okay, so this is becoming another part of the Duat turf war between the Duat successors. I tried lightly putting a hand on her shoulder just to ground her to the situation. However, the instant look of fury I got from her signaled that maybe this wasn't the right tact to take. Face it, you will never be more than what you are. Frankly, you are already above your station. I know you can hear me. Just come out already. To illustrate the point, Thane fired another shot in the air. It was as though he was in a completely different mode. He was kind of acting like this when I caught him torturing that old man. Aside for talking shit, aside from murder, was it? Honestly, I don't give a shit if you get away. Like I said, you can't touch me. It's really just the mystery passenger I want dead. Look, you've got one chance. Kill me now. If not, I'm bringing this ship back to shore and speaking to Marduk. When he learns the truth, you're sure as shit not gonna get the headship of the Duats. There's no fucking way he's giving it to ye. It's going to fall to me. I'll get what should have been rightfully mine had that old bastard not thrown a fit the moment I tried putting one of his lectures into action. That is, unless you come out right now. Lara's hands balled into fists. Uh-oh. She began to move forwards, and once again I grabbed her arm. Again, she pushed it off and began to open her mouth to rebuke me. Panicking, I covered it with my other hand. Oh, that's not gonna go well. If she was pissed before, she was now furious. I put a finger to my mouth, signaling what we needed to stay mindful of. Still, she pushed away my hand. When she spoke, however, I started talking very quietly. Look, think for a second, would you? Why would he shout all this out if it were true? He's provoking you. He knows that if he gets you angry enough, you'll try to take him out. He knows he can kill you if you fall for it. But got a perfectly fine plan with the lifeboat. No, he's not puppy guarding it right now. Let's take advantage of that. Wordlessly, Laura began moving towards the lifeboat, hands still clenched. She was no longer moving slow and steady. Oh well, hopefully Thane was too busy monologuing to notice. At the very least, I had successfully avoided the worst-case scenario. At this point, we were already pretty close to the lifeboat. Just a bit closer. A few more steps. There. I saw it, over the edge, a lifeboat. It was raised to be right under the edge of the ship. At this point, the time for subtlety was over. Laura and I pretty much just ran straight on over to the lifeboat. With reckless abandon, I jumped over the railing and landed at the lifeboat. Laura got in with a bit more tact and began messing with the lifeboat winch controls. However, it was at this point our noise had attracted the attention of our very own masked murderer. Thane popped out from behind a container. Shit! I suddenly fell flat, lying on the boat, hoping to avoid any gunshots. Laura, on the other hand, frantically began messing with the controls faster. She hit a button, then nervously ducked, hands over her head, as the whole lifeboat began to suddenly drop. Blam! Great timing, too, because Thane had just let out another shot where Laura had just been, moments ago. Thane was always a second late with the shot, huh? Was he just a bad shot? He was starting to feel like that, to be honest. Maybe I was just particularly lucky. Anyway, not remotely the time to start questioning the abilities of the person currently trying to kill me. We may be technically on the ocean, but we were still shackled to the Mandjet. Get the boat started. Lara had a shout over the crashing water, which was now quite loud, being this close to the waves. On it! Began to rush over to the back of the boat and rev up the motor. I never really operated a motorboat like this, but boy, if there was ever a time to start. Best I could tell, I had gotten it started. Lara had also just managed to pull off her duty, properly getting the lifeboat free. Just as soon as she finished this, I was suddenly pushed back. I had to grab on to prevent myself from falling out of the lifeboat. Apparently I had put this thing at maximum speed. Whoa, the speed, it felt. Get down! Lara shouted at me. Before I could comprehend what she meant, she grabbed my shoulders and forcibly pushed me down. Again, $1 short and a day late, Thane. Didn't take a genius to imagine what had happened. Once we dropped down, Thane began running over to the side of the ship. When he got to a position he could lean over the rail, he continued firing the pistol. Unfortunately for him, hitting a rapidly moving lifeboat was a tricky prospect. Still, you couldn't say he wasn't determined. Shot after shot, he fired off into the ocean, vaguely in our direction. After every missed bullet, his odds for success with the next decreased. Lara and I just huddled at the back of the boat, crouching down, gritting our teeth as the cold water and wind splashed in our faces. Full knowledge that at any moment, Thane might roll well, get lucky, and send a chunk of metal right through the back of our throats. Eventually, after far too long, I no longer heard the sound of bullets. Hesitantly, I started to get up. Turned around. Yeah, well, at this point, we had well and truly put some distance on the Mandjet. You need a sniper rifle to reliably hit a fast-moving target at this rate. Boy, I hope Thane doesn't have a sniper rifle. So then, were we free? Scooch over. Lara had also begun to get up. Now that we weren't in imminent danger, this huddling no longer felt comfortable. Moved to the one side of the boat and Lara the other. The wind was really rough. That made sense when we were moving this fast. I looked forwards. We still had a ways to go until shore. However, I looked back. We had put distance on the Mandjet. However, was I free? Had I escaped the ghost ship alive? Was this night of torment over? Haha, I could almost cry. It felt unreal. I put my face in my hands. God, I really was going to live, huh? I had been holding back on how crazy this night had been until now, but knowing that I could actually get out alive, go on to finish my mission, it was truly... where was that bright light coming from? I took my head out of my hands and instantly put my hands up again, shielding myself from the blinding light. Moments later, we were out of the direct gaze. However, a couple seconds later, the light caught up to us. Through squinty eyes, I looked out, trying to get a better look at where it was coming from. Then I saw it. Bright light atop the Mandjet was being directed right towards us. Oh boy. And that wasn't the only thing coming in this direction. It's hard to tell from this perspective. No, the Mandjet was moving. Turning and moving right in our direction. Oh boy. Something that big shouldn't be able to move that fast. And yet it was. It was a nightmarish titan of a vessel, and yet it moved with a surprising amount of force. It was practically keeping up with us. That's terrifying. In fact, was it faster? Couldn't quite tell, but it seemed plausible. If you had any naive ideas about us being out of the woods, think again. They don't call Thane the Shadow of Panthea for nothing. His job is to kill people, and he's good at his job. He's not going to stop tracking us down until either we completely shake him off, he's dead, or we are. Sorry, bud, but this night's far from over. Classic. Everybody loves the "we're saved, oh wait, no we're not" bit. Or at least I do. Guess I can't say if everyone does. But I mean, I didn't mean the saying literally. No one does. There's no way to know if everyone's thinking something. It's complete devil's proof. 100% of the time, that saying is not said literally. But I guess that's true for most sayings, isn't it? That's why they're sayings. I digress. In regard to the scene, was it just me, or did this one feel a little short? Just me? No, going by time, we were about half my normal video length. Like, not criminally short. Oh no, this was a clear end point, which I think is more important than consistent scene length. Maybe, yeah. Look, more work goes into creating these cards than just the, creation. Which, yes, is in itself is an impressive feat that makes me as like a god. There's also a creative direction to it. There's an artistry. I mean, yes, okay, not a ton of it. It's mostly just a reproduction of what happened. So there are details I have to think of. I gotta separate the cards. That matters. We have gotten wildly off track. Wasn't there a bet we have to check on? Right. The one about where Mercury would end up after 2 scenes. I forgot what I voted for. Well, it's been 2 scenes. And though it's not the same boat, Mercury is still on a boat. So, guess you win. Yeah! Good for you, I guess. Really made a keen judgment or something like that. Okay, I'll be real. I feel like our conversation this time was a little all over the place. Perhaps I'm not doing the best job right now as a storyteller. Hey, it's more along the lines of, oh, that's over now. We gotta fill this time with something. Just been a little distracted. There's some stuff going on outside. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. Let's just move on. Stuff going on outside. Interesting. Alright. Remember to make a save. And next time, we'll check in on Thane. Until then.